Hi, welcome to my channel.
Please subscribe!
There's several rules and policies that are currently being implemented and some that will be implemented in the future about reducing the numbers of internationals in the Netherlands. There are also policies that are being proposed about reducing international students in the Netherlands. First of all, this came up in 2023. There were concerns raised by the Dutch government about rise of international students in the Netherlands. And so the government currently, they are proposing that they reduce the number of English speaking courses in the Netherlands. And they backed up this argument saying, well, most times international students come to the Netherlands, they do not stay after a long period of time because they do not speak the language. So they say the job market is completely different from the educational system. In order to get a competitive advantage, the schools need to teach the courses in Dutch so that when they finish from the universities, they're able to retain these talents in the Netherlands and use these talents for the growth of the economy. This was the whole premise around the debate. And there have been two sides of this story, and I'm going to tell you the both sides, and I'll also tell you what my personal opinion is to the debate. But before I do that, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. If you're new here, my name is Jamila. It's good to have you here on my channel. Welcome. A round of applause. Welcome to my channel. Okay, so let's jump into the video and let's talk about the two sides in the debate. Just so you know, there are two sides that have completely different points and opinions about this topic. The first side is agreeing to this policy. The first argument is that this is in favor of the international students. The international students have more to gain by taking Dutch courses here in the Netherlands. They argue that after their education in the Netherlands, they would integrate easily into the society if they have their courses in Dutch. I just combined Dutch and courses. Dutchist. They argue that they would integrate better into the society if the courses are being executed in Dutch. And that this is a good thing for the internationals. They should be happy about this. I mean, it is to their advantage. They also argue that, well, at the moment, most internationals live within the bubble of their international circles, and having Dutch official language in the university will help them also integrate in the Dutch society, which is also a win for them. They finally say, well, besides all those points, the school should in the first place have implemented this even without the government saying so. So the school should have been facilitating all the Dutch courses and pushing it towards the students and making sure that they actually pick these Dutch courses. I mean, it is done in China, for instance. To take some courses in the university, you have to learn the language first in the first 1 year and then move on to carrying out, your courses and all of that fully in the language. This was the argument from the side agreeing to these policies being implemented. And they also said the schools are branding the courses as very international, which also make international students think, well, I'm just going to come to the Netherlands and learn in an international environment and integrate in the international society, and that this is where the school is getting it all wrong, that the job market is not as international as they portray the whole society to be. Yeah, okay, so this is the argument from that side. And the other side say, hey, hold up. No. This argument is rubbish. No, the other side comes up, of course, respecting each other's argument. No one calling anyone rubbish. But yeah, the other side comes up and they say, hey, that no, the Dutch society at the moment is actually doing something very wrong, trying to throw out a lot of internationals out of the country. And this society has been built as an international society, a society that prides itself as very open and accepting to internationals, and therefore the Dutch government is definitely doing something wrong. Okay, so this is the first argument of the other side, that the Dutch government is definitely doing something wrong. This is coming up at a time where there are several policies that are being brought up about limiting the number of foreign expats that are highly skilled, highly skilled labor. They are taking off the incentives that they were using to attract them to the Netherlands. This is coming at the same time. It's coming at the same time where there's a lot of debate on internationals being the cause of housing crisis. It's coming at the same time where you want to stop, you want to implement policies that will restrict refugees from coming into the country. This is definitely not good for the country and for the image of the universities. And if by chance the government changes their mind and say, yeah, you can bring more students in, by then the reputations of the university would have been dragged in the mud. So this is the first argument for the other side. The second argument is that, okay. I hear you. You say that international students should learn Dutch, correct? Well, the point is, even with the Dutch, if they do learn Dutch, they would never get that degree, that level of proficiency that you need to work in a local organization. At the end of the day, they still need to find a company that the official language is English. It would be difficult for them to learn the language to the level where they have to work in Dutch. That is the other argument. It's been quite an interesting argument, I would say, but there are more arguments. Okay, there's also the argument that a lot of the lecturers are teaching in English because language that they're much more comfortable in. They're the most comfortable in English, and now you say let's change all the courses to Dutch. What about the teachers, the lecturers? How will the tutors, the coaches, the lecturers, how would they teach? Or do you want all the lecturers who have English as their first language out of the system? Who will fill in the gap? And if you say let the lecturers also go on and learn Dutch, well, they would learn Dutch, but would they be comfortable teaching in a second language that is not English? So there is that argument from also the other side that is against this policy. Okay, and that is actually the final argument. So now I'm going to tell you what my point. I just completed my master's in the Netherlands and I am in the job market. So I am going to give you my personal opinion. This is my personal opinion. Take it with a pinch of salt. So here is my opinion, right? So if you had talked about this policy 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, I would say, oh, come on, that's not fair. You're just looking for someone to blame the housing crisis on, and you're blaming it on the internationals. No. Oh no, stop it. That's what I would have said if you had brought this up to me 1 year or 2 years ago. Fair enough, back then I was in a circle of internationals. I was in a circle of international students. I was in a circle of international students, international friends, international university. Everyone spoke English. Also on the streets, people speak lots of English. So I was within this circle, and I would basically tell you, yeah, why are we stressing over Dutch? But now that I am completely done with school, and now that I am in the job market, I see how different it is. I mean, in the market, you have a huge advantage if you can speak Dutch. You have a huge advantage. Even if the office have their official language as English, if you can speak Dutch, you have better advantage than someone, or you're in a better position than someone who do not speak Dutch at all. So I 100% agree that the Dutch courses should be integrated in the educational system. I know not everyone wants to stay behind in the Netherlands and find a job or live here, and you can also go, yeah, I'm speaking from the context of the north, you can also go to the south, where it's much easier to find English jobs. And yeah, there's also that argument, but what do you have to lose, you know? in the train stations, when there is, for instance, when there is a maintenance on the rail, on the tracks, these maintenance are written in Dutch. How do you understand that? You have to Google translate it all the time. It's just not convenient. To really integrate into the society, you really need some level of Dutch. Bear in mind that most universities offer courses, Dutch courses by the side. They even reduce the prices to encourage internationals to do these courses, but they just don't, because it's not promoted as important, you know. It's not something that is being talked about as it's really important. You need to do it. The more students hear that they need to do it, the more they have to do it. If you make it compulsory, they will do it, and it will help them. It's to their own advantage. I know at the start it might stop a lot of people from moving into the country, but I think it really helps. I think in that aspect. But yeah, I can also see how this is being used as a part of a bigger strategy to stop internationals from coming into the Netherlands, which I do not agree with. Yeah, that's my personal opinion. But yeah, in that aspect of the language being a facilitator for integration, you know, I completely agree with that. And this is my point, this is my viewpoint, this is my opinion, and I'm curious to hear what your opinion is about the language in the context of limiting internationals in the Netherlands. Also, tell me if you plan to move here for your studies, and would you learn Dutch if you intend to move here to the Netherlands? Would you learn Dutch? If it becomes compulsory, would you do it? And that is all for this video, but I'm curious to know more about your thoughts, and I'll see you in my next video.